Oh, there you are. Good morning, YouTube. I was reading some history topics and then I found out it's not as boring as we were taught in school.
So, I want Trizzo to answer the question. Trizzo.
Trizzo! Uh-oh. What are you doing? Yeah? What's the answer? 36? It's history class, you idiot! Damn. Although studying history is a method to understand the present, at least that's the wisest among us purpose. In today's video, I'm going to show you some of these interesting history topics which is fun to know, plus some recent events. It's Trizon here and welcome to this video. Did you know that the current United States flag was designed by a 17-year-old student? Have you ever heard of Robert G. Heft? Did you know the guy who designed the American flag back in 1958? No? Believe it or not, Robert created the most famous flag design in the world as a school project when he anticipated Alaska and Hawaii joining the United States. Ironically, he got a B- for the assignment and a reprimand from his teacher for having too many stars. As he would state later, his teacher told him, "You don't know how many states we have." Not discouraged from his teacher's reaction, Robert sent his design to the White House. His design was chosen out of more than 1,500 flags that were given to President Dwight D. Eisenhower. Side note, his teacher changed his grade to an A. Did you know China used more cement in 3 years when the America used all this cement in the entire 20th century? Despite Bill Gates once tweeting about it, no one really took him seriously. According to estimates from the US Geological Survey, however, Mr. Gates was being serious. The US used 4.5 gigatons of cement between 1901 and 2000. Compare that with the 6.6 gigatons of the cement used in China between 2011 and 2013. And you will realize that Bill Gates is not definitely a liar. Did you know Abraham Lincoln was a marvelous wrestler? Even though he's widely known as one of the greatest presidents in American history, President Lincoln could have also been a WWE star. Just comment below if you think that WWE is real. Before he became president, Abraham Lincoln was a champion wrestler, taking part in about 300 matches. He had a reputation for being a tough fighter. Keep also in mind that he was 6'4" tall and 225 pounds in his prime days. In other words, a certified badass. Did you know the Pope once declared war on cats? Even though there's not an official history source verifying this, we will assume that Pope Gregory IV must have been a real dog person. The notorious Pope once claimed that black cats were instruments of Satan and ordered their extermination throughout Europe. Ironically, the dramatic reduction in cat population during the 13th century was among the factors that led to a spike of plague-carrying rats, leading to the Black Plague. Did you know the sole survivor of Titanic and the Britannic, Violet Jessop, known as Miss Unsinkable, was a stewardess and nurse on the White Star Line's of Olympic-class passengers ships. In addition to surviving the Titanic and the Britannic disaster, she was also aboard the trio's first sister ship when it collided with the British warship in 1911. Did you know the turkeys were once worshipped like deities? Nowadays, the turkeys are mainly known for being Americans' favorite dish on Thanksgiving Day. Back in 300 BC though, the fancy big birds were worshipped by the Mayan people as a vessel of the gods and were honored as such. They were symbols of power and prestige and can be found in Mayan iconography and the archaeology. Did you know Tesla was terrified of pearls? Nikola Tesla was without a doubt one of the greatest minds and the inventors to ever walk in this planet. As a man though, he had some really weird phobias. He couldn't stand the sight of pearls to the extent that he refused to speak to women who were wearing them. When his secretary wore pearl jewelry, he sent her home for the day. Tesla also wore white gloves for dinner every night and prided himself to being a dapper dresser. Did you know that Napoleon was almost assassinated by a horde of bunnies? Napoleon Bonaparte is considered one of the greatest generals and conquerors to ever live. He was so powerful on the battlefield that he forced the United Kingdom, Austrian Empire, Kingdom of Prussia, Kingdom of Spain, and various kingdoms of today's Italy, Dutch Republic, Russian Empire, Ottoman Empire, Kingdom of Portugal, and the Kingdom of Sweden to join forces in order to confront him. However, bunnies were not as scared of him. Apparently, the emperor had requested that a rabbit hunt be arranged for himself and his men. His chief of staff set it up and had men round up 3,000 rabbits for the occasion. When the rabbits released from their cage, the hunt was ready to go. At least, that was the plan. But the bunnies charged toward the Bonaparte and his men in a vicious and unstoppable onslaught. The only certain thing is that the Napoleon knew how to survive. Did you know the Brits sold their wives until recently? Between the 17th and 19th century, wife selling was a real thing in England. Getting a divorce back then was really expensive, so several lower class British people couldn't afford them. Instead, they sold their wives. The custom seems outlandish today, but it could be found taking place in public places like markets, taverns, and fairs. Did you know heroin used to be sold over the counter to treat coughs? Our ancestors could be a little weird. Imagine using one of the most badly dangerous and addictive substances in history in the same way your grandma uses Werther's candy. And heroin was not just used for treat the coughs of adult peeps. We're talking about the children's cough too. Did you know the Romans used human urine as mouthwash? Ugh, it's painful to imagine. It may sound fake, but the Romans indeed used to buy a bottle of Portuguese urine and use that as a rinse. Ugh. The ammonia in urine was thought to disinfect mouths and whiten teeth. What's even more shocking is that urine remained a popular mouthwash ingredient in many parts of Europe until 18th century. Did you know that Charlie Chaplin...
Hey, Trizon, you should stop.
Why I can't say anything?
Because the viewer haven't subscribed to your channel.
But I haven't finished yet.
I don't care. They have to subscribe and wait for the part 2. This video is over.
Oh no. No! And that was it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button to get notifications directly to your phone. It's Trizon here and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.